Hello, welcome to this Scratch tutorial that covers in a deep view of management of your outputs, creating output pipelines using file mask for file naming, using templates in application for real-life workflows. First, I'm going to show you how to create different output nodes to deliver proxies. I have several shots coming from the Epic camera, and I'm going to create proxies in ProRes and DNX HD in the native frame rate but in different resolution. First, I'm going to enter to my output stage. I have my primary output that has 5K resolution that came directly from the Epic camera raw files. In this place, I have my output settings and format settings. In this place, I have my tools for creating different kind of output nodes, and also I can create different output templates. In this place, I have my tools to sending all my output nodes to the process queuing. First, what I'm going to do is create an image file sequence output node to define the different resolution I want. For example, I'm going to scale this one to 720p. In this case, I'm going to change the resolution to 720. I'm going to change my frame rate to 2397. That is the native frame rate from the files. Also, I'm going to define in the format settings the way that I want to scale. In this one, I want to scale fit width. Okay, so I'm going to see a different scale. Once I have defined my scale, what I'm going to do now is create a burn-in node. I'm going to hit play on this output node, and then I'm going to matrix. In matrix, I can select shot and then go to insert, and then I'm going to select my burn-in node. Now you can see a text field here, and it can be modified here. Here I can insert some metadata as source timecode, for example. Also, I can add, for example, source file name. So I have my file name. I can resize this a little bit, and I can change the justification to the center. So I can go down here, okay. And also, for example, I can add the color space is linear and the frame rate, for example. As you can see, I have my timecode here, my source file name, my color space, and my frame rate. So I can play back this or scroll down, and I can see my timecode, my name is different, and it is taken from the metadata that came from the camera. Once I define my burn-in, I can make it a little bit bigger. Okay. I can go to my construct, and I'm going to see my output window here. So now I'm going to create my ProRes output node. So once I have selected burn-in media, okay, this is my new node that was created for burn-in. From this one, I'm going to create a Quicktime Export. So as you can see, I have my Quicktime Export created here, and I'm going to define the format settings. I'm going to use Apple ProRes proxy, and if I want audio, I can select here. I can define if I want stereo 16-bit and the quality of the audio also. So in this case, I'm going to leave all these settings like this. I'm going to my output settings, and I'm going to see that this node has this name, Quicktime Export. So I can change also the output nodes names to keep my work very organized. I'm going to change this to ProRes node 422 proxy, for example. and I have changed this. If I send this directly to the process QE, it's going to create a one clip containing all my clips coming from the Epic camera. In this case, what I want to do is create different files that match my names from the camera raw. What I'm going to do is I'm going to define the naming convention. I'm going to select this text field here that has the progress node 422proxy.map. This name is taken from the output name. So what I'm going to do is erase this one, okay, and then I can define a code from the file name specification. In this case, this is the kind of metadata that I can insert in the file name specification. In this case, I'm going to use the source file name, so I'm going to select this one. Here you are going to see the explanation of the different metadata that I can insert. In this case, I'm going to use the source file name, and then it's going to be insert. So as you can see, the name changed to the original file name from this camera raw file. In this case, also I can add templates with different specifications, and then the only thing I need to do is with different workflows I can select these templates. Now I'm going to hit OK, and as you can see, I have different naming here. If I move around, you are going to see that this name is changing, matching the original file name. As you can see, I have this name here, and it's going to be the same here, okay? Once I have my progress, now I want to create a Dnx file from this one. To create my Dnx export node, the only thing I need to do is select my born in. That's because I want to have my born in metadata in the image also on the Dnx file. So I'm going to select the born in media, and then I'm going to manage outputs, add an output, and MXF AMT export. So now you are going to see that a new export node is created. This export node contains all the Dnx specifications. I'm going to the format settings, and I'm going to see my different Dnx codecs that I can render out from scratch. In this case, I'm going to select the 720p 23976 Dnx HD 90X, this one. So now, exactly the same that I changed in the progress, what I'm going to do is in my output settings, also I'm going to define my naming conventions. In this case, I want to create also the source file name. So the only thing I need to do is with this one in my code, select also source file name, and then hit insert, and then OK. Now I have my progress and MXF ready to send to the render queue. So I'm going to select this one, add to QE, and the MXF AMT export, add to QE. So if I go to my process QE, I'm going to see both nodes ready for render. I can select both of them, or I can hit start, and it's going to start rendering these output nodes. This is it for the editorial export or dailies export workflow. Now, what I'm going to show you is how to create a deliveries for mastering. Okay, in this case, what I'm going to create is an output that specifies an image sequence and also a QuickTime ProRes and another QuickTime for H.264. As I told you before, I'm going to my output window and I'm going to select this main output. This output is defined in 4K, so my delivery needs to be in 2K. So what I'm going to create now is an image file sequence export, and I'm going to define this one as a 2K format. In this case, I'm going to select 2K 16:9. I'm going to my format settings and I'm going to resize this to fit width. And as you can see, I have 50% of the original file that is 4K 16:9. Now, what I'm going to do is select this one and I'm going to create a file name specification. In this case, also, I'm going to change this to DPX sequence 10-bit, and I'm going to leave this as linear. I can change this flag to linear or log film, Rec 709, Ultra HD, XYZ DCI, ACES, White Gamut, Scene Linear, P3 DCI, and Adobe RGB. In this case, I'm going to this one to linear. So I select linear, and then what I'm going to do is specify only the name. Here, as you can see, I have name, frame, and extension. In this case, I'm going to add a dot in the name, and I'm going to leave this one as is. What I'm going to do now to change the name of this output is change the name of the output. That allows me to change the name for the final clip. In this case, I'm going to select this to Master 2K. So now I have this delivery and I can send this one directly to the process queue. Also, I'm going to create a Quicktime Export for ProRes. So I'm going to Quicktime Export. I'm going to select this to Qt ProRes 444. I'm going to change the format settings to ProRes 444. I'm going to select audio 1 and 2. I can make it stereo 16-bit, and the quality I can set this as PCM lossless. And also from this one, I want to create another output as a Quicktime Export, and I can say this one I can rename also as a master Quicktime ProRes 444, and I'm going to select this one and I'm going to change this to master Quicktime H264. So I'm going to define my format to H264, and I can change here to make this audio active channel 1 and 2, stereo, 16-bit, and the quality of the audio I can leave as AAC 192, and then I can go back to my output settings and I can see it's defined with 2K and the same settings that I have from my master 2K. So as you can see, I can create this workflow, and also I can save as this template as a mastering, for example, on the name. I can save, so I can go to another workflow, and then I'm going to mastering and I can load my mastering workflow. As you can see, we can manage different workflows for outputs, and this one was made for mastering. This is it for now. I hope you enjoyed this output tutorial and hope to see you soon. Bye bye.